This lack of sleep combined with school's pressures creates more issues. A survey by the American Psychological Association found that 45% of all teens said they were stressed by school pressures. Suicide is the second leading cause of death in youth, and 28 teenagers a week now die by suicide, according to the National Alliance of Mental Illness. Most of the adolescents who commit suicide suffer from depression and anxiety, and school definitely factors into these mental health issues. Depression is a debilitating mental illness which fatigues both a person's mind and body. Lack of sleep and concentration make many students unable to work in school. According to the National Institute of Mental Health, school makes depressed students feel overly exhausted. To those students, additional work outside of school seems impossible.
I've had symptoms of depression and anxiety for years, and it only became clear when my sophomore year began. School pressures led to suicidal thoughts, and every day it felt like I was suffocating. I was lucky enough to get medication and psychiatric help, but the stigma of taking meds I need to function hurts even now. During winter break, my anxiety had dissipated enough that I could use just 5 milligrams of Lexapro, an antidepressant/anti-anxiety pill used largely for adolescents. But the return to school brought back the mental strain. I had to quadruple the Lexapro dose to maintain my earlier stability, and I began keeping Vistaril, an as-needed anxiety medication, on hand for in-school panic attacks.
Dealing with anxiety is also difficult. For people with anxiety, stressful school situations can cause panic attacks, causing them to miss school altogether. According to the American Psychological Association, other side effects include suicidal thoughts, stomach pain, and headaches. For many people with anxiety, school stress is a vicious cycle leading to more and more panic attacks. This type of cyclical anxiety can last years.
I stayed home sick one day and missed homework we would need the day I returned to class. We took a quiz over the material I missed, and I made a 60. Just the knowledge that I failed the quiz pulled me into a panic attack. My heart started racing, there was a tremor in my hands. My breathing picked up and I couldn't stop crying. I had to leave class for about 40 minutes before I could calm down. And the quiz by itself had no effect on my grade, but seeing something lower than an 80 made me panic. It still burned into my head that anything less than perfect, no matter how trivial, will jeopardize my grades and my future.
I got home one day and couldn't catch my breath for some reason. I thought it might have been allergies or something I ate. I took some medication, nothing happened, it got worse. It felt like my rib cage was being constricted. I took deep breaths, but it just got worse and worse. I laid down hoping it would pass and blacked out for some time. Eventually the pain lessened, but I still couldn't breathe sufficiently. I went to the doctor because it hadn't gone away after a while, and I was diagnosed with a palpitation, a physical anxiety symptom. I had so much adrenaline in my body at all times that my heart was starting to overwork itself.
Academic pressure can even stop some students from going to school at all. According to the National Association of Mental Health Statistics, 50% of mentally ill high schoolers drop out. Many more students skip class constantly and do poorly in school. Many adults believe that good test scores are more important than students' mental health. However, data from other countries prove that to be false. In Finland, psychological care and guidance for students made theirs the best educational system in Europe. And with these policies, Finnish test scores have also improved. In 2009, Finnish students ranked 6th in math, 2nd in science, and 3rd in reading out of 65 countries. That same year, U.S. students ranked much lower, 30th, 23rd, and 17th, respectively. All results are from the Program for International Student Assessment, a benchmark for international skills. These statistics and anecdotes have shown us that the mental health of students can be improved. Starting schools later in the morning, better psychological help, and less emphasis on standardized tests are only a few of the many ways our society can help teens. It is up to both students and adults to create a healthier and less stressful school environment. But for now, we can focus on current mental health issues for advanced students. Watching out for your fellow students creates a safety network with less stigma attached. A combination of both short and long-term methods will help now and lead to healthier generations in the future.